Well, I've got to my last game here in my first quarter of my 28-game season. I want to play the first 7 games for each team and then get a look at the stats. Today, the matchup is going to be against the 1923 Hilldale Club, the Negro League team, against the 56 New York Yankees, led by Mickey Mantle in his Triple Crown season. We are with these two teams. They're two teams that are at the bottom of the league. Surprisingly, the 1956 Yankees are 1-5 so far in this playing of this season at the very bottom, and the Hilldale Club is at 2-4. So we're going to have a matchup today of pitchers Don Larsen, who is 0-1, and Scrip Lee. It should be a decidingly advantage with the pitching with the Yankees because Larsen is a B pitcher with C control. He can go 5 innings. Scrip Lee is a C pitcher with C control, and he can go 6. So neither pitcher is an ace, but Larsen should have the advantage. The only problem with Larsen is the C control, but both pitchers have C control, and Larsen has a better B grading in his pitcher rating. So we're going to see how this game unfolds. So far, the bats for the Yankees in this season have been cold and silent. So let's see if that changes today as we get into this game. Leading off for the Hilldale Club is Otto Briggs. Briggs is a lefty batting from the B column with C power, so he'll retain that B rating. Here comes the pitch from Larsen. It's going to be a control check. His control is not good. C7 in control, and he walks his first batter as Otto Briggs takes a free pass to first base. 1 up, 1 walked. Briggs does have good speed, so as Larsen goes into his windup, Briggs breaks for second, and he is gunned down. Yogi Berra comes up firing and guns down Briggs as he slides into second, and Coleman applies the tag for out number 1, and that clears the bases as Paul Warfield steps to the plate. Excuse me. I got to be careful to not do that. Can't get my head out of the football field. He's normally a C batter, but that will drop to a D against Larsen. Here is the pitch. That will go to the batter card. That D6 is a sharp fly ball hit well into left field. Elson Howard breaks well on it, though, and makes the play for out number 2 as he broke well on the ball. And that'll bring up John Henry Lloyd, batting from the left side. He's an A batter with A power, so the dangerous Lloyd steps in. Larsen with the pitch. It's a control check, and he walks Lloyd, being very careful, not giving him anything to hit. He walks him. So that's the second walk given up by Larsen here in the first inning as Luis Santa steps to the plate. The lefty batting from the B column with B power. Here is the pitch. It's a defensive check on to third base McDougal. Ball hit sharply, takes an odd bounce, but McDougal plays it well, fires it over to first to Skowron for the 5-3 putout, and we have 1 left on, but going to the bottom of the first, scoreless, and Scrip Lee on the mound, and Hank Bauer stepping to the plate. Bauer will be batting from the D column. Lee pitching from the C. Here is the pitch. It's going to be a defensive check on the catcher, Santip. Santip is a B defender. He quickly pounces on the slow nubber in front of the plate, fires it to first, gets Bauer by a step for the 2-3 putout. That brings up Billy Martin. Billy Martin, normally a B batter, but will drop to a C against Scrip Lee. C on C. Here's the pitch. Martin gets to swing away. He lifts a shallow fly ball into left field. Clint Thomas, stepping a few steps to his right, makes the play for the F7 putout. And out number 2. And that'll bring up the Mickey Mantle. 1956, he was a Triple Crown winner. Of course, Mantle bats from the A batter column with A power, and he does switch, so he's batting from the left side. Here's the pitch, and Scrip Lee strikes him out. He gets Mantle looking for out number 3, and we go to the second, still scoreless and hitless here in New York. Excuse me, we're not in New York, we're in Hilldale. My apologies. No, we are in New York. Get my story straight. Larsen's on the mound at the top of the second. That means they're the home team. We are in New York as Clint Thomas steps to the plate. He'll be batting from the D column, normally a C, but against Larsen, he'll bat from the D. Here's the pitch from Larsen. He will get to swing away. He lifts a fly ball into right field. Bauer, can of corn, F9 put out number 1. Now to bring up Tank Carr. George Tank Carr, switch hitter, will be batting from the C with B power. Here is the pitch. And that will be a control check for Larsen, whose control is a C. That's C6. Will be a walk. He walks him, so the lack of control is showing early here for Larsen as he walks Carr. That'll be his third walk of the game, and we're only in the second inning. So control issues for Larsen as Judy Johnson steps to the plate. Johnson will be hitting from the D column, usually a C. Carr takes a slight lead off of second as the pitch comes from Larsen. And Johnson gets something to hit, but he just hits it sharply to Coleman at short. Hit very well, but Coleman plays it easily. Martin tosses to Martin. Martin makes the pivot, fires it over to first to Skowron, who's in the stretch for the 6-4-3 inning, rally killing, soul crushing double play. Thank you, Kurt Berglund, for your inspirational calling of double plays. That brings up Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra coming to the plate against Scrip Lee, will remain an A batter with A power. So Dangerous Berra steps to the plate. Lee into his windup. Here's the pitch. He does get to swing away, and that is in Berra's power column. And he hits a sharp double into right center field in between the alley between Johnson and Briggs for a leadoff double for Yogi Berra. That brings up Bill Skowron. Skowron will be batting from the B column. He's going to swing away. No bunts laid down by B hitters. That's just a house rule for me. Here's the pitch to Skowron. It's a defensive check on the second baseman, Warfield. Warfield is a C defender. Defensive check on a C8. He will make the play, but his only play is to first as Yogi Berra breaks well on the hit, and he just tosses it over to Carr for the 4-3 putout. But that will move Berra over to third with one out, and Gil McDougall coming to the plate. McDougall is normally an A hitter, but he will drop to a B against Scrip Lee with C power. Here's the pitch to McDougall. That'll be a control check on Scrip Lee. That's C4. Will strike him out. He strikes out McDougall, who goes down swinging on the breaking ball from Lee. And so with two outs, runner on third, Elston Howard steps to the plate. Howard will be batting from the C column, normally a B, with C power. Howard digs in. Lee with the windup and the pitch. And that's a control check, and he strikes him out. Lee pitches himself out of the situation. One is stranded as Yogi Berra is stranded on third. And we go to the third with our score still scoreless. And Don Larsen on the mound. Debo Johnson at the plate. That would be he's an A batter with B power, but we'll drop to a B batter against Larsen. Here is the pitch. That B8 is a single, hit sharply past Coleman at short. Mantle races over to get it, tosses it in, but not before Johnson is on first with a leadoff single, and that'll bring up Scrip Lee. Lee, with Johnson on first, will be laying down a bunt. Here comes the bunt from Lee. And it is bunted down to the first baseman. The first baseman fields it, who is Skowron with A defense. It is a successful bunt by Lee because of that high roll of 11. Skowron is not able to get it over to Coleman at second. So successful bunt by Scrip Lee. That'll bring up Otto Briggs. As we've batted around now, Briggs reached on a walk his first time up. Larsen with the pitch. Briggs digging in. Here is the pitch, and he strikes him out. Don Larsen with the strikeout. Again, in this 28-game season, I am not playing with injuries, so that ignore the triples. Normally, if you would roll, if I were playing injuries, that roll of all ones would mean the injury hurt the first baseman. The pitcher's hit in the arm by a line drive. And then we would have rolled again for the severity. And that's a 4. He would just be out for the current game. But we're not playing injuries. Larsen's going to stay in. And that's just going to be a strikeout. That'll bring up Frank Warfield, batting from the D column. Johnson on second is going to be breaking on any hit ball. He's going to be taken off. Be a control check. That C8 is going to be a walk as he walks Warfield. Again, Larsen with control issues so far in this game as John Henry Lloyd, the dangerous Lloyd, steps back up. He walked his first time up. Again, Lloyd hits from the A batter column with A power. He could bring some runs across in one swing. Here is the pitch. And Larsen comes through and mows down Lloyd with the strikeout. Pitches himself out of the situation, and we go to the bottom of the third. Still scoreless as Jerry Coleman steps to the plate. Coleman batting from the right side. His C will drop to a D with D power. So not a big hitting threat, but you never know as Lee goes into the windup. He will get to hit away. And he hits one sharply to Warfield at second. Hot ground ball is fielded quite easily by Warfield, and he tosses it over to Tank Carr for the 4-3 putout. And out number one. And that'll bring up Don Larsen to the plate. Larsen will just be swinging away. Here's the pitch to Larsen. And that'll be a control check on Scrip Lee. If I remember correctly, that C6, he's going to give his counterpart a free walk down the base path as he walks Larsen for a one-out walk. That's going to bring Hank Bauer back to the plate. Bauer batting from the D column, his first time up. Grounded out a little number in front of the plate that was played well by Santa. Bauer digs in. Here's the pitch from Lee. He gets to swing away. He hits a slow rolling infield hit to Warfield at second. It's hit so slowly he cannot make the play at second. He does toss it over to Carr for the 4-3 putout, but that will move Larsen over to second into scoring position as Billy Martin steps to the plate. Martin batting from the C column. Here is the pitch. He swings away, lifts a high fly ball, but short fly ball into center field. Debo Johnson underneath it for out number 3. And we go to the 4th. Still scoreless here in New York as Don Larsen, toeing the rubber. Louis Santa steps to the plate. Batting from the B column. Here's the pitch to Santa. That's a fly ball into left field. Elston Howard waves off Mantle, settles underneath it for out number 1. And that brings up Clint Thomas. See what Thomas did on his first time up. He flew out to right field. He steps in. Batting from the D column is Thomas. Here's a pitch from Larsen. That D11 is a single that's hit sharply by Thomas. Line drive that drops right in front of Elston Howard in left field for a one-out single by Clint Thomas. Thomas, as Larsen goes into his windup, breaks for second. He's off, and he is gunned down. That's the second base runner caught stealing by Yogi Berra, as Yogi Berra is on his game. He fires down to second, and Thomas is out by a mile. And that brings up Tank Carr. George Tank Carr batting from the C column. Here's the pitch from Larsen as Larsen gave Yogi Berra the head nod, thanking him for clearing the base pass, and goes into his windup. Carr again. That C5 lifts a fly ball into left field. Howard once again with the easy play, can of corn, and we're going to the bottom of the fourth, still scoreless here in New York. And that brings up the dangerous Mickey Mantle as Scrip Lee goes into his windup. Mantle digs in. Here is the pitch. It's going to be a defensive check on the shortstop as it's hit sharply at John Henry Lloyd at short. Lloyd, with great defense, he is able to field the odd bounce of the ball and fire it over to first and gets Mantle by a step on the 6-3 put out and out number 1. And that brings up Yogi Berra once again. Berra doubled his last time up. Can he continue the hitting as he bats from the A column? Here's the pitch to Yogi. Again, that's a defensive check. This time on the second baseman, Warfield. Ball's hit well, but played well by Warfield. Flips it over to Carr for the 4-3 put out. And out number 2. And that brings up Bill Skowron. Also an A hitter that drops to a B. Skowron looking for something to hit. And he does get something to hit. But it's another fly ball that's hit to center field. Debo Johnson makes the routine fly ball out for out number 3. We go to the 5th, still scoreless. And this is the one thing that's been amazing me about this season, this little 28-game season for the 56 Yankees so far. They just can't seem to hit the ball. The dice does not seem to roll their way. I mean, they're so far in this game, they've got 1 hit through 4 innings. And cold bats. When will they warm up? We will see. Larsen toes the rubber as Judy Johnson steps to the plate. Batting from the D column. Here's the pitch. This going to be a defensive check on the third baseman, McDougald. McDougald fields the sharply hit ground ball, fires it over to Skowron for the 5-3 put out, and out number 1. It's like this ball roller is not a Yankee fan, but I can't blame it on the ball roller little program here, because when I roll games off screen, I just use a dice tower. And that's just the way it's been coming up for the Yankees. Who knows why? So with 1 out, Debo Johnson steps to the plate. That's George Debo Johnson with hitting from the B column. Here is the pitch. He gets one to hit. It's into his power column. He has B power, but he gets one to hit, but he just gets a little bit too much underneath it, pulls it into left field, hits it deep. Howard has to go back to the warning track, but again, just a long out for out number 2, and that brings up Scrip Lee. Lee again can pitch into the 6th inning. He can pitch the 6th inning, so he will swing away here because he's pitching well. He's got a 1-hitter going. So Larsen to Lee. He will get to swing away. That goes to Scrip Lee's power column. Of course, he has no power. That D3 in the power column. Is this going to be a fly ball into center field? The sure-handed Mantle fields it, stabs it out of the air for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 5th, still scoreless here in New York. And Gil McDougald stepping to the plate, batting from the B column. Here's the pitch from Lee. And that's grounded sharply to Lloyd at short. Fires it over to Carr for the 6-3 put out, and out number 1. That brings up Elston Howard. Howard, his first time up, went down swinging as he struck out. Howard batting from the C column. Here's the pitch from Lee. See, those low rolls on that yellow is just not good for the Yankees. It's going to the batter's card there, but that C3 is just a ground ball hit once again to Lloyd, who makes the play over to first for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down. As Jerry Coleman steps to the plate, he'll be batting from the D column as Lee into his windup and the pitch. That D9 is a ball hit to Warfield as he's ranging over toward the bag at second. Has to whip around, pivot, fire to first, and he gets Coleman by a step on the 4-3 put out. But that's out number 3, and we go to the 6 now, and Don Larsen his rating is going to drop to a C, so we're going to have a quick hook on Larsen if he gets into any trouble, as he can only go 5 before he fatigues. So he's a C now. Both pitchers now are C rated. Here's the pitch to Briggs. Briggs will be hitting from the B, and he so far on the day is hitless. He's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Here's the pitch to Briggs. He will get the swing away. That is in his power column. Briggs with C power. Hits a leadoff double as he hits one in between Bauer and Mantle in right center. Bauer up with it, fires it into second. But too late as Briggs slides in safely for a leadoff double. And Larsen will be on the hook if Briggs is moved to third, I believe. We'll see. Warfield steps in, batting from the D column. Here's the pitch from Larsen. And he walks Warfield. Now that he's dropped to a B, or a C, excuse me, that C2 is a control check, and that high roll of 12 will walk him, but that does allow for the double play opportunity. But the danger is John Henry Lloyd steps to the plate batting from the A column against the C pitcher. Can he take advantage? Here comes the pitch from Larsen, and he does get one to hit as Larsen leaves a breaking ball hanging, but Lloyd, a little over anxious, just hits a shallow fly ball into left field as he's late on it. Hit too shallow for Briggs to go anywhere, and that's our first out with the F7 put out. And now Larsen looks to get a double play ball out of Louis Santip. Santip batting from the B column. Here's the pitch from Larsen. And that's going to be a defensive check on the first baseman, Skowron. Skowron is an A defender. This could be interesting. That A3. And Skowron gets it, fires it over to second. Back to Skowron at first for the 3-6-3 rally killing double play here in the 6th. And Larsen gives the quick head nod to Skowron at first. And now we go to the bottom of the 6th, and Don Larsen stepping to the mound, and he is going to come out because his rating will drop to a D in the 7th, and I don't like D pitchers out. So Larsen's going to have a seat, and we'll bring in the left hitting Enos Slaughter. Slaughter will be hitting. No, I don't think I'll do that. I think I'll bring in Bob Serve. He is a righty, but if I put Slaughter in, his rating is a C. batter. I put serve in. He's an A batter that will drop to a B. So serve is going in. Even though it's a righty-righty matchup, the odds go in serve's favor, so he's the one that's going in. Scrip Lee now is in his last inning before he drops to a D, so this will be his last inning that he will pitch. Like I said, I don't like to have D pitchers in the game. That just is a recipe for disaster. As serve steps in, batting from the B column. Here's a pitch from Lee. And Bob Serve has come in. And that C12 is his power column. Serves power is an A, and I know without even looking that an A11 is a home run. Serve comes in, and Lee offers up a meatball delivery, and he makes lasagna out of it as he puts it in the left field seats as Thomas just watches it go over his head for a home run here in the bottom of the sixth. And we are now no longer scoreless as the Yankees now take a 1-0 lead on the Bob Serve pitch hit home run. And he come in and got his job done, and now the Yankees lead 1-0 as Hank Bauer steps to the plate. Bauer batting from the D column. Lee throws down the rosin bag in disgust as Bauer digs in. Lee into the windup. Here's the pitch. And Bauer gets to swing away. Grounds one to Lloyd at short. Lloyd up with it over to first. Out number one. That brings up Billy Martin. Batting from the C column. Here is the pitch. It's a defensive check on the center fielder, Johnson. Johnson's defensive rating is a B. He breaks on the ball well as it's hit sharply. Waves off Briggs as it's slicing to right center, but Johnson on his horse flags it down for the F8 putout, and out number two. That brings up Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle has not hit well in this season. He's batting 125. He's 3 for 24 with only 2 RBIs. So very cold bats for the Yankees all around, even the A hitting Mantle as Scrip Lee goes into his windup. Here's the pitch. And he walks Mantle. Mantle gets a free pass, trots down to first with 2 outs. With 2 outs, he will not be attempting to steal a base with the A hitting Berra stepping up. Can Yogi Berra drive in the run as Lee goes into the windup trying to pitch himself out of any further damage? Here's the pitch. And Berra does indeed get one to hit, but he just hits it sharply to Johnson at third, who scoops it up, fires it over to second for the force out on Mantle, and out number 3. So we go to the 7th now with our score 1-0, the Yankees leading, and we need a new pitcher for the Yankees. The majority of, well, it's pretty evenly balanced, so we're just going to bring in the best pitcher that we can. Thomas hits from the C column, so I think I'm going to bring it lefty or righty. It's whoever I got the best available. And who do I want to bring in? The bench is not great. Graham is fatigued, so we'll not be bringing him in. Morgan is a C pitcher. Byrne is a B. Sonny Dixon's an A, but with terrible control. It's either Byrne or Coleman. Let's bring in Tommy Byrne, the lefty. The lefty has C control. No, excuse me, B pitching, but C control. I don't like seeing C and D control, but that's what we got. Byrne on the mound. Clint Thomas stepping to the plate. Thomas will be batting from the C column. Here's the pitch from Byrne. It will go to the batter's card. That's C6. There's a fly ball lifted into center field. Mantle tracking it well. Runs it down for out number 1. And that'll bring up Tank Carr. Batting from the C column. Here's the pitch. He will get to swing away. And he gets a 1-out single that he drops one in front of Howard in left field. A little bloop single. But he is on. We have the tying run on first as Judy Johnson steps to the plate. Johnson hitting from the C column as Carr takes a slight lead. Here's the pitch. And Johnson hits it sharply to second. Martin fields it, tosses it to Coleman. Coleman fires it to Carr for the 4-6-3 double play, and we go to the bottom of the 7th now. And Scrip Lee now will be coming out of the game. He is now D-rated, and I don't like D-rated pitchers. So see what I got coming up here with the Yankees. A bunch of righties. So we're going to bring in a right-handed reliever. And I think that's naturally going to be probably Cockrell. Phil Cockrell will come in. He's a B pitcher with B control. No, Cockrell's a starter. I can't bring him in. Ping Gardner. Yeah, Gardner will come in. He's an A pitcher with B control, and he can go 2 innings, so he'll probably finish this game out as he comes in on the 7th. He can pitch the 7th and 8th as an A, and then he'll go into the 9th as a B pitcher, so he's probably going to stay in the game unless he gets into trouble. Bill Skowron stepping to the plate. Skowron, the righty, will drop to a B as Cockrell goes into his windup. That's a control check on Cockrell. He strikes him out as Skowron goes down swinging as Cockrell comes in with the nasty breaking ball that dropped off the plate. Got Skowron swinging at air, and that'll bring up Gil McDougald. McDougald also batting from the B column. Here's the pitch from Cockrell. That's a control check on Cockrell, and he gets another ball this time by McDougald as he fires a fastball by for strikeout number 2. 2 up, 2 down, and Elston Howard stepping to the plate, batting from the C column. Here's the pitch to Howard as Cockrell is mowing him down. Here's the pitch. And he strikes out Howard. He struck out the side, come in with guns a-blazing. And we go to the 8th now with the Yankees up 1-0 in this game, balancing on a knife. It could go either way. Tommy Byrne again can do 2 innings at B, so he's still at a B. Here is the pitch to Johnson. He gets to swing away. Johnson takes his hack at it. Hits it sharply to Coleman at short. Coleman with the play over to first for the 6-3 put out and out number 1. That's going to bring up Phil Cockrell, who had the guns blazing. Do I let him hit or pull him. I think you got to pull him. You need runs, even though he pitched well. Yeah, if I want to pull him, because actually I put in the wrong pitcher a while ago. I should put in Gardner, and I put in Cockrell. My faux pas. So he's going to come out where I'll put Gardner in to close it out. Excuse me for my ignorance. Biz Mackey is going to come in to pinch hit. Mackey is a switch hitter he's an A batter with B power, so he's a good one to bring in as Byrne goes into the windup. Here's the pitch. And he indeed does get one to hit. He lifts a fly ball into right field, takes Bauer back to the warning track, back, but not back far enough as he makes the play for out number 2. That'll bring Otto Briggs back to the plate. Briggs will be batting from the C column against the lefty Byrne. Here's the pitch. And he gets one to hit as Byrne hangs a curveball to Briggs. Briggs, that'll go to his power column. He has C power. And that's a double by Briggs as he hits one off the wall in right center. Mantle takes the bounce off the wall, fires it back in, but not before Briggs is standing on second. The fleet-footed Briggs on second. 2 outs. Runner in scoring position. Frank Warfield stepping to the plate, batting from the C column. Here is the pitch. And Byrne mows him down, strikes him out, and gets out of the jam for out number 3. Now we'll bring Payne Gardner in. I don't know how I messed that up a while ago. Gardner, just careless, I guess. Gardner, again, he pitches from the A with B control. So Coleman stepping to the plate. Coleman will be batting from the D column. And I think I'm going to see if I got a lefty I can come in to help my situation out a little bit. This time I will bring in Slaughter, who will be hitting from the C column, so I'm going to prove it by a grade. As Gardner pitches from the A, here's the pitch. That A8 will go to the batter's card. That C5 is a fly ball into left field. Clint Thomas, can of corn, creamy canned corn for the F7 out number 1, and that brings up Byrne, who will be pinch hit 4 as he will drop to a D in the 9th. And who do I want to bring in? Let's just bring in the best hitter possible, which doesn't look that good, really. What about Carroll? Let me take a look at him. I don't have him on my card, but I can look him up in the system here. So I'm doing that off screen. You can go into the Pocket Pennant Run software and pull up the 56 Yankees, load the lineup, and then you can say add a player and go down the list of players. There's Tom Carroll. I click on him and it shows me his rating. It says he's an A batter with D power. So I'm going to bring him in because he's an A batter. Who will drop to a B, but it's not bad. Bringing in a B batter here against Gardner as he goes in the windup. That A10 will let him hit a B8, and that paid off. If I would have left in the C batter, that would have been an out, but with the B8, that's a single by Carroll that's hit into Left field drops in front of Thomas for a 1-out single by Tom Carroll. That'll bring Hank Bauer back to the plate. Bauer also hits from the D. I think I'm going to play a little bit of small ball and let Bauer lay down a bunt as Gardner brings the pitch. He squares the bunt, and that does not look good. Might have been a wrong call as he squares the bunt here in the bottom of the 8th. That's going to be a defensive check on the pitcher. The pitcher, Gardner. His defense rating is a D, so he does not field the ball well. And that D10, this might be problems for the Hilldale Club. Yeah, that is a bunt single by Hank Bauer, who lays down an excellent bunt that Gardner cannot get to, and by the time he fumbles with it and gets it up, you have both runners safely on as Bauer lays down an excellent bunt. Now we got runners on first and second with 1 out, and Billy Martin stepping to the plate. Martin will be batting from the C column as Gardner brings the pitch. And that 8-9, Martin will get to swing away. That C9 will be a single that loads the bases as Carroll cannot break for home. But we have loaded bases here in the bottom of the 9th, and Pink Gardner is having all kind of troubles. And who comes striding to the plate but none other than Mickey Mantle, who so far has struggled in this season, but the opportunity now sets itself for him. Gardner toes the rubber, knows he's got to be careful and cautious, brings the pitch. Mantle digging in, and Mantle will get to swing away. That A5 is hit deep into right field. He will not get a hit, but he will hit it deep enough to score another run as he's hit a sacrifice fly into right field that will score Carroll. And now the Yankees have a 2-0 lead as the ever dangerous Yogi Berra steps to the plate. He also hits from the A batter column with A power, and Gardner just is wanting to get out of this inning. Bears down on Berra. Here's the pitch, and he serves up one to Berra. That A8 is a single plus, so that's going to score Bauer from second and move Martin over to third. And the Yankees have got something going on here in the bottom of the 8th as they now put 3 runs across here, as they put 2 across in the inning and 3 total, as now Bill Skowron steps to the plate. Skowron, also an A batter, will drop to a B, but this is that dangerous lineup that's been cold all the season long, but now seems to be heating up here in the 8th. Here's the pitch from Gardner, and again, it is one that is served up to Skowron, hitting from the B column. That B10 is a single plus 2, so that's going to move Berra all the way over to third and score Martin. So Skowron on first, Berra on third. 3 runs have come across here in the 8th for a 4-0 Yankees lead. And Gil McDougall stepping to the plate. You have another A hitter dropping to a B. But this is what I've been waiting to see from the Yankees, is Gardner has just fell apart here. And he's dropped to a B because of this. He serves up another one to McDougall. And that's a single by McDougall that moves Skowron over and scores Berra. So Gardner is going to be pulled because he will drop even further. And he's just getting smacked around, so we're going to bring in another pitcher. We'll bring in Hampton. He's an A pitcher with B control. Facing Howard. That'll drop Howard to a C. Here's a pitch from Hampton. And it's another, the one that's given to Howard to hit. But Howard, who has C power, gets it to his power column. But that low roll of 2 will mean he just lifts one into center field. And finally, the bleeding is stopped with the F8 put out by Johnson, but not after 4 runs come across. And the Yankees now find themselves leading 5-0 here in the top of the 9th. And bring in a shortstop. Billy Hunter to play. And now I need a pitcher to close out this game. Who's the best one I got available? This is the tough part because none of them look great. We'll bring in Sonny Dixon, who has good rating but bad control. Let's hope that doesn't come back to bite him. As Dixon steps in, he's got to face John Henry Lloyd right away. A on A, and he strikes him out. Sonny Dixon comes in dealing as he strikes out the best hitter for Hilldale, John Henry Lloyd. Now to bring the catcher, Santip, up. We'll be batting from the B column. Here's a pitch from Dixon. And that 11 will let Santip swing away. But unfortunately, Santip does not take advantage of the hanging curveball. And he just hits a ground ball to second. Billy Martin up with it over to first, and we're 1 out away from the Yankees getting their 2nd win of this season and finally scoring some runs as Clint Thomas steps to the plate. Thomas batting from the D column. They're going to pitch hit for him to see if they can get something going. And no, they're not, because it's not going to improve anything. Because if I bring in Stevens, it's just he's going to drop to a D, and Allen is already a D. So we're going to keep Clint Thomas in and just let him swing away. As Dixon goes into the windup, looking to close this game out. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be a defensive check on Dixon. Dixon's defense is a D. That D9 might be a problem, but I'm not sure. Let's see, D9, and if it would have been a D10, it would have been a single, but it is not. Dixon makes the play as it's hit sharply, but he's able to knock it down, pick it up, and fire it over to Scourin at first, and he gets Thomas, Speedy Thomas. They get him by a half step for the 1-3 put out, and that is our game. And the Yankees finally catch the breaks, but it took all the way to the 8th inning before their bats got hot and heavy. Larsen took the win, Scrip Lee the loss, and Yogi Berra the MVP of the game. And let's take a look at our box score. Yogi Berra on the day was 2 for 4 and drove an RBI. Nothing that fantastic, but they gave him the RBI, the MVP. I don't know if I would have given it to probably give it to Larsen. I don't know. I don't think either pitcher was stellar. I think Larsen walked too many. Let's take a look at his stats. Yeah, Larsen struck out 2 and walked 5. So not a stellar performance, but he only allowed 3 hits. So in his 6 innings pitch, Scrip Lee, in 6 innings, he only allowed 2 hits and 1 earned run. So he pitched well. Ping Gardner or Phil Cockrell come in and just did the job. Brought him in the wrong time, but it's Ping Gardner that just yacked up, threw up on himself, and lost the game for the Hilldale Club, who dropped to 2 and 5. The Yankees improved to 2 and 5 on this 28-game season, and that's, you want to close that out. And I will be coming to you with another video shortly. It's going to talk about the stats so far through this quarter season. But until then, we're going to close it out here